So, you know how when you search up Gacha mini-movie or something like that, you usually find literally the exact same thing over and over just with different thumbnails? Well, I've seen a lot of people complain about how these are literally the exact same thing. However, I've noticed that there are actually a lot of problems within these mini-movies that I don't think many people are discussing or noticing. So, I want to get into my own personal opinions on pretty harmful and unnoticed problems in these mini-movies. This can also count for series as well. Now, no one actually has to follow these suggestions. People are really just making these movies for fun, but also some of them can be really harmful. Two-dimensional characters. So the first problem that I see not many people pointing out is probably the tamest of them all, and that's just simply two-dimensional characters. Now, this could be something as simple as the bully having no motive for being a bully, or the main character being a very generic, perfect person. This can overall just create a really stale and not interesting story. It adds to a lot of the very interesting stories that I usually see today when you look up Gacha mini-movie or something similar to that. Some ways I recommend to fix this problem is usually by giving them a backstory. A lot of people act how they do because of past experiences and what they've learned. So, when you're making a character, try to keep that in mind. Characters have a reason for why they act the way they do, and making a character with the only reason for them being rude is because someone stole their man, for example, is very unoriginal. Also problematic. But anyways, that can lead me to my next point. Playing into stereotypes. A lot of mini-movies do this. Now, most movies and stories in general have gotten rid of the really bad and over-exaggerated stereotypes. For example, the weird cat boy and super pink dresses girly mean person girl. Now, let me get this out of the way. I believe that no stereotypes in general are really a good thing. They can lead to a lot of people thinking that an entire group of people is one certain way because of a stereotype when that is definitely not true. So, with this, I want to just explain some of the stereotypes that I see a lot. In almost every single story ever, I always see the mean person be a popular blonde girl that wears makeup and likes pink. And obviously, not every single person that is popular blonde wears makeup and likes pink is a bad person. They're usually portrayed as kind of boy crazy, and obviously, not everyone that fits that description is like that. Now, listen, I'm not talking about the really exaggerated stereotype of the large poofy dresses in neon pink and the OC looks like someone scribbled a highlighter all over them. There are legitimate characters that do look like this, but actually normal, but I don't see any single bully that isn't a popular mean girl. This can kind of give off the impression that all popular people are rude, which definitely isn't the case. There are also other stereotypes, like the softie, the bad boy, and others. With all of these different stereotypes, it can kind of give off the impression that all people that match the description of these stereotypes are that way. Also, it's just unoriginal in general. It's really not interesting or fun to watch a mini-movie with the exact same characters over and over, but a slightly different design. Glorifying bad situations. Alright, so I have seen some people talk about this, but I think people are mostly talking about the really extreme situations. But I want to spread light onto some of the unknown bad situations that are being portrayed in a good light. First, probably the obvious ones, but there's still plenty of stories about kidnapping and mafias and selling people. Like, for example, there's plenty of stories about the sweet mafia kidnapped me. These are real traumatic things that people go through, and people are just treating it like it's a love story. People could start thinking that it's okay to get kidnapped by a mafia and think that it's a way to find your true love. That's definitely not the case. Also, the amount of overprotective partners that these people have is getting way too normalized. Having a significant other that gets jealous easily and doesn't like you talking to other people isn't very healthy. Now, I want to clarify one thing. I want to say that I think it's completely acceptable to include dark topics in your story. However, I think they need to be handled well. If you're going to include these topics, make sure it's done well. These are sensitive things things to talk about and handle, and if they're not handled well, it can be pretty harmful. So, if you get kidnapped by an Ultra Omega Alpha Dema Mafia guy, make sure it's not presented in a good light, because these experiences are not something to be put in a good light. It's a really scary experience in real life. I see a lot of people in these stories who are either mafias, killers, criminals, or something like that. And for some reason, the story makes the impact of their actions way less than what they actually are. The actions of people that are in these professions are really bad, and treating it like it's something that people are attracted to or something that's cool is a bit concerning, to say the least. I notice a lot of subtle actions that are usually portrayed in a good light or have no consequence. For example, a lot of people grab others and won't let go or smack them. A lot of these actions go on without consequence, and it's portrayed in a good light again, and I think that it should be addressed and that there should be consequences for your actions when you do something wrong. There are also instances where someone does something pretty bad and that's like even illegal, like stalking another person, and they go off with no consequence at all. It's treated like it's cute. It's really not cute or attractive to want to stalk someone looking at you, miraculous ladybug. And some even go as far as killing another person. That's not cute or attractive whatsoever. Not to mention the normalization of having really aggressive people and that being portrayed cute. You know, smacking someone with a frying pan because they stole your cookies isn't really something that people like in real life. I know that's an extreme example that a lot of people don't do today in their mini movies, since a lot of people have dropped the cookie uwu food humor, but a lot of that stuff does still happen with a lot of movies today. That was just one example. Trends and the algorithm. Alright, so you probably know about the intense trends in our community and how a lot of people like and don't like them. These trends are a big reason why the gacha community is so disliked in the first place. But I don't see many people talking about the algorithm and how trends have affected the algorithm itself. If you don't know, the YouTube algorithm is what determines what gets on your recommended page or not. It's what gets videos viral, and it's basically just the main system for what videos you watch. In the simplest way to put it, the YouTube algorithm prefers longer videos. This is because YouTube gains more money from this. This means that longer videos are more likely to go viral and gaining more subscribers in total. So, when trends first started rising, they were pretty long videos when comparing it to the community that we're in. Beforehand, the gacha community consisted of just 8-minute story videos, and a lot of those went viral. However, when people started uploading 20-minute videos or 15-minute videos, those were all the trends that we see today. From there on, the algorithm picked up that people like these types of trend videos, for example, the alpha, spoiled brat, or things like that. And that's why a lot of people say that original content doesn't get noticed. It's because the algorithm doesn't favor original content because we've set it up to be so trend-focused. This is problematic for a number of reasons. Since the algorithm is already pretty set, a lot of people resort to making trends for views. This, in total, isn't actually beneficial for their channel whatsoever. Sure, it can be beneficial in the short run, but in the long run for your channel, it's really not going to be helpful in total. This is because the content isn't anything impactful. People can subscribe, however, it's really not something that they remember since it's just another trend. And this causes a lot of their channel videos to be dead and to not get a lot of views compared to what their subscribers have. For example, a video would get around 15,000 views, which is definitely good. But then you look at the fact that they have 500,000 subscribers. That is a lot of their subscribers not clicking into their videos. A lot of people won't click into their videos if they're just random trends, and if they ever tried to change their content, they'd be stuck, and they couldn't, unless it's another trend. I mean, you can even apply this to my own channel in a sense. I mainly make commentary videos. However, if I did something else that's not related to commentary videos, it'd be pretty risky because that's not what my subscribers subscribed for. This could have the potential ability to have a lot of my subscribers not click into my video that's not a commentary video because they're simply not interested. Which, by the way, I don't blame them. Have you ever noticed how the channels that are really loved by the community produce really original and unique content? That's because their content is something that's impactful. There's only one channel that does what they do, however, there are thousands of channels that make trends. You can see how one would stand out from the other. Putting the word gay in your mini-movie. Now, I'm expecting people to have different opinions on this, but in my opinion, by putting gay in your mini-movie, it could possibly represent that there's a reason for putting it there. I mean, why else would you put it there in the first place? There's really no genuine reason for you to put it in your titles. It may, for some people, give off the impression that the mini-movie is special or unique just because it has gay characters. And while it's great to be proud of your sexuality, in my opinion, it could be giving off the impression that it's a different plot because it's a gay relationship instead of straight. In a sense, it abnormalizes it. It implies that it's different from the regular alpha straight mini-movie, but in reality though, the mini-movie is the exact same as any other mini-movies, but it's just two guys or two girls instead of a girl and a guy. There's literally no difference except for the gender that they're dating in these types of stories, but suddenly it's different because it's a gay relationship. It's completely normal not to be straight. Whoever you are, whatever you define as, or anything like that, it's completely okay and normal. And I think that putting it in your mini-movie title kind of can come across as making it not so normal. Hopefully that got my point across well, but overall, it does just kind of rub me the wrong way when people put that in their titles, so I don't know, maybe my reasoning could be completely off. Original stories. A human in an all-lion school. Original. The alpha's cute, perverted pup. Original. The rockstar alpha and his little kitty beggar. Original. The player is the father of my kids. Original. These are not original. An original story is something that has a completely new plotline that no one has really done before, and something that is done originally, not a trend. A lot of stories think that they can just replace alpha with lion and bam, it's original. That's just an example though. However, this is not the case. These stories have the exact same plotline as anything else, and the changes in the character's personality doesn't change the story or plotline whatsoever. It makes no impact at all. These are not original. Honestly though, I wouldn't even consider it a change in the personality when they never really had a personality in the first place. And for the record, I watched all of those mini-movies as I shared them as examples, and I can confirm that none of them are original in the slightest. It could be that the boy in a relationship isn't strong and the girl is strong, and the girl in the relationship isn't weak and the boy is weak, which is different from the stereotype. However, it literally makes no change to the story whatsoever. These changes don't make a story original. To have an original story, you need to come up with a new plot that's not just where there's only one small change and genuinely having just the title or the character design have a change. Having an original plot would be to have a plot that no one has ever really seen, not a girl entering a school full of lions instead of having the usual alphas. To have original characters, you need to avoid stereotypes and tropes, not reuse the classic boring main character, popular overprotective perfect boyfriend, and the spoiled mean brat girl. I feel like at this point, I'm just describing a Netflix movie right now. But anyway, I see so many of these stories that claim they're original, but they really aren't. This isn't genuinely harmful or anything, but it's definitely a pet peeve. Of course, originality is sort of subjective, but I think almost anyone here can agree that these stories do not have any originality whatsoever. For example, let's talk about the first mini-movie that I used as an example. This is The Girl in an All-Lions School. Now, this is not trying to hate the creator of this mini-movie whatsoever. I bet they're a great person, but this is not original. It starts off with the girl being sad that she has to go to a school where she's a human and everyone else is a lion, and then she she meets some friends that randomly teleport to her. They become best friends randomly in about 1 minute. But anyways, and then she meets a mean girl. Then she meets this other random guy, I don't know who he is. The dude that she met earlier teleported right behind her and immediately flirted with her. Now, not only is this not original so far, but it's also creepy. That's actually like really creepy. I would not want someone to randomly teleport behind me that I already dislike for some reason and flirt with me. Not to mention that this is her first day at school, but anyways, let's continue. Eventually, the guy and the girl get stuck in this fight with a random person, and then she reveals that she's secretly a super powerful lion. Wow, what a surprise. Then they get married and have kids. The end. I'm sorry, but this really isn't an original storyline. These are all elements that you can see in literally any other mini-movie. The only thing that's unique or original is the fact that they're lions. But that doesn't even impact the story whatsoever, so it really can't be used as a scapegoat to be original. Unoriginal titles. So you know when you look up a Gacha mini-movie, you usually see that they're pretty much really lengthy and odd titles. They're pretty much all the same, to be honest. It's all the girl that has super magical demon powers, or my boss is my ex-husband. To be honest, these are really unoriginal titles too. They already give up a very trendy and unoriginal vibe to them. Let's say I compare the exact same mini-movie together, but they have different titles. One title is The Boss is My Ex-Husband, and the other title is something along the lines of Betrayed Love. Even though they have the exact same plot, and it's literally down to the exact same screenshots, I would definitely choose to watch the one called Betrayed Love. This already gives off a very original vibe, because when you're surrounded with titles that are pretty much all the exact same but a few different words, the title of Betrayed Love seems much more original and it makes much more of an impact. Anyways, that's just my own personal takes on the mostly unnoticed problems and stories for the Gacha community. I feel like this is honestly really common in most stories, so I basically just wanted to discuss my own personal opinions. Let me know if you have any differentiating opinions from what I said in the video though. But anyway, that's all I have for this video. Bye!